Yeah, if you would have told me I would have been dating somebody for 3 years ago, I would have laughed in your face because that just seemed impossible. But yeah, now we're here making his mom some dinner rolls. So, you know, everything really does come full circle, you know? Hello everyone, it's Hara in Korea, and today is December 31st, and that means that tomorrow will finally be 2025. Though when I upload this video, it probably won't be until the end of January, beginning of February, so who knows. But anyway, the video that I wanted to make for you guys today is I'm going to be showing you how to make these amazing dinner rolls, and I'm gonna be making these dinner rolls for my boyfriend's mom. Also, my cat Hal is in the background. He might be making some chirping noises because there's a fly in my house. Don't know how a fly got in my house during winter time, but he is doing his best effort to attract this fly with his bird chirping noises, and we're hoping he catches the fly. So good luck, Howl. Howl, good luck. Thanks. Okay, so anyway, on Christmas, I made this amazing holiday spread for my boyfriend and I. It took a lot of work, a lot of effort, a lot of time, but thankfully all of the food turned out amazing. And the day after, I sent him home with a plate of food to try with his mom. And among the food that she tried, she liked the mac and cheese, she liked the roasted potatoes, but her favorite thing was the bread roll that I sent with him also. And she kept raving about these bread rolls, and apparently the day after she was still talking about them and being like, oh my goodness, how did Brianna make those bread rolls? They tasted so amazing, they were so soft, it tasted like it came from a bakery. And I was like, yes, I am so happy that she liked something I made. And so because of that, I thought, wow, maybe I should make some more and give them to her for a present for New Year. So yes, I'm going to be making my boyfriend's mom some dinner rolls, and I'll give them to him and then he can give them to her as a present. I'm gonna put them in a box, put a little ribbon on it, and write her a little note in Korean, and I really hope she likes them. So here we are, gonna make some dinner rolls for my boyfriend's mom, and I'm excited about that at least. So let's get started. So the recipe that I'm using is from Teeny. If you know her from TikTok or Instagram, or you know, a couple weeks ago she had the whole internet fighting about whose mac and cheese was the best. So yeah, that recipe is the one I will be using for her dinner rolls. She calls them holiday dinner rolls, I think. The thing about Teeny is usually she puts her recipe in the video, so it's not even like in the description. So I had to write down the recipe and I typed it out. So I hope I got everything right, but I will type it out and put it for you guys in the description box too if you're interested in making these rolls. First, gotta wash my pan because I didn't do my dishes today. So these dinner rolls are based off of Japanese milk buns. So the first thing I am going to do is I am going to make a starter for my dough. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna take 3 tablespoons of water, 3 tablespoons of whole milk, and then 2 tablespoons of bread flour. And I'm gonna put that in a pan on the stove. Okay, so I'm gonna use some bread flour. That's what Teeny recommended. So I don't know if all-purpose flour works, just I haven't tried it that way. But yeah, I'm gonna put 2 tablespoons of bread flour in this pan. Okay, so you are going to mix this on medium heat for about 2 to 3 minutes, and it should form a type of paste that kind of looks like mashed potatoes. Okay, when it looks like this, it is done, and we're gonna put that off to the side somewhere in a bowl so that it can cool down. Let it cool off. Don't forget about it, because last time I forgot to add it to my dough, and I kneaded my dough for 10 minutes, and then I realized I didn't add this. Panicked, added it afterwards, and thankfully it still turned out perfect, but yeah, just don't forget that. And I'm gonna be using a scale for some of the things. For example, when I measure flour, I feel like it's better to use a scale because it's more accurate. If I'm measuring something that's only a couple tablespoons, then I won't. But if it's a couple cups, then I feel like it's better to be the most accurate. So first, I'm going to take 2.5 cups of bread flour, which is about 300 grams. So I'm gonna put that in my bowl. Okay, we got 302 grams, so good enough. Next, we need 1/3 cup of melted butter. And Teeny said for baking, you need to use unsalted butter, and for cooking, you need to use salted butter. So today we're going to be using unsalted butter so that your baked item doesn't turn out too salty, or so you can control the salt. So 1/3 cup of butter is about 76 grams. Might be a smart idea to take it out of the fridge a little bit before you're planning on using it. I did not do that, and it is quite hard to cut through. All right, butter's melted. Random, but I wanted to say I'm really excited for tomorrow, because tomorrow when I see my boyfriend, it'll officially be our 3-year anniversary. And if you would have told me I would have been dating somebody for 3 years ago, I would have laughed in your face, because that just seemed impossible. But yeah, now we're here making his mom some dinner rolls. So, you know, everything really does come full circle, you know? Okay, so we added the butter. Next, we need a 1/2 cup of whole milk. And I am going to be using instant yeast in this instead of active dry yeast. So I don't think I need to warm up the milk, but I did last time just because I wanted to be 100% sure. Because if you use active dry yeast, you need to make sure you are adding it to something warm. So I'm just gonna warm up my milk, but I do think it's an unnecessary step if you are using instant yeast. So while I'm waiting for my milk to warm up, yeah, I'm really excited for tomorrow. We are going to meet in Changwon, which is his city, and the reason we meet there every anniversary is because it's the first place we met, so it's kind of special for us. And yeah, it's kind of also just nice because every new year is our anniversary, and I'm so happy that we met on New Year's Day, because that is like the perfect day to have an anniversary. We're always gonna have it off in Korea. In America, we'd also always have it off of work that day, you know, we always get to spend it together, and it's like we get to go into the new year together, and I don't know, it's just really special. I don't really know how to explain it. All right, I warmed my milk ever so slightly, and we're gonna go ahead and put that in there. Added my milk. Next, we need 4 tablespoons of sugar. 2, 3, 4, okay. Next, I'm going to add instant yeast. So I didn't know this before I first made this recipe, but instant yeast, you can just throw in the dough. It should proof just fine. You don't need to activate it, right? Active dry yeast, you need to mix it with warm water and sugar, or warm milk and sugar. So anyway, I'm gonna be using 3 packs for me, but the amount you're supposed to use is 1 tablespoon of yeast, which for me ends up being about 12 grams. Okay, next you want to add 2 tablespoons of dry milk powder. Didn't even know this existed before this recipe either. So 2 tablespoons of dry milk powder. Next, we are going to add 1 teaspoon of salt. And last, we need to add 1 egg. Okay, I lied. Don't be like me. Again, don't forget your starter mashed potato looking mix. Just curious what it smelled like. Gonna add the starter in there too. So this is what it looks like before I mix it. Teeny said you could mix this by hand. Ain't nobody got time for that, okay? So, Teeny used a stand mixer, but I also ain't got money for that. So we have a hand mixer here. So we don't have to do as much work as mixing it by hand, but it's still not easy. So I have my bread attachments here, and we are going to mix this for 10 minutes. So as you can see, that's why you don't want to do it by hand. My arm hurts when I do it with this too, but I'm assuming it must be easier than doing it fully by hand. And our goal is to get it to look like some type of dough. So let's hope for the best. Okay, this is what my dough is looking like. This is my 4th time doing this because I felt like it wasn't the right consistency, so I added a little more flour and I mixed it a little bit longer, so we're gonna hope that it's good now. I am adding it to a lightly greased bowl. I just put some butter, spread it around in there, and we're gonna hope for the best. I am tired. Okay, yeah, this is much better consistency. Before, it was like sticking to the bottom of the bowl. It was, I mean, it's supposed to be like a little bit sticky, but not like sticking to your hands, you know? So that's why I added a tiny bit more flour and then I mixed it for like 5 more minutes. And if it's not coming out looking like this, you know, if it's still sticking a lot to the bottom of the bowl, if it's hard for you to pull out, then I would recommend adding just a little bit of flour at a time, not a lot, like maybe like a tablespoon or 2 of flour, dusting it in there and then, you know, mixing it up for a little bit. But this is the consistency I wanted, and in the beginning it was not like this. Anyway, after that, you are going to add it to your bowl. All right, you're kind of just gonna mix it in there with the butter, flip it a few times, and yeah, that should be good. Okay, after twirling it and flipping it a bit, this is what it looks like. You want to get some plastic wrap or something to cover it with. So I'm using plastic wrap. I need 2 pieces. All right, so I got my dough and the plastic wrap covered, and you're gonna let it proof for about 60 to 90 minutes until it's double in size. Because it's wintertime and I don't have anywhere warm for this to proof, I am going to put it in my oven. And what I did was I put the oven on the lowest temperature it will go, which I think is 110 degrees Celsius. I left that on for maybe 20 minutes and then I turned it off, and so I'm hoping it's warm enough in there to let this proof well. That's what I did last time and it worked well. I don't know if you guys can see the size here, but it's at the bottom of the bowl, so we're hoping it gets double in size. So we're gonna wait 90 minutes and hope for the best. Okay, we are back, and I don't know if you can see, but my dough is now touching the top of this plastic when it used to be at the bottom. Okay, first I am going to get my pan ready that I'm going to be putting them in. So I'm just going to take some butter and grease up the pan again. So I am making sure that I grease this pan more than I did the bowl that I put the bread in, because I don't want it sticking to the bottom. I'm gonna get some parchment paper and put on the counter just to make sure my dough is not rolling all over the place on the counter. I really hope you guys can see. I'm sorry if it's not that good of an angle, but there is no space on my counter to be doing this. Just gonna plop them out there. Okay, we're gonna punch out the air. Like 1, 2. I am going to cut them into 6 pieces. And Teeny said if they are not, you know, even, it's okay. So let's see here. 1, 2, 3. That would be 3. 1. I'm gonna go with this for the size of 1. I am not great at rolling these. Last time I feel like I didn't get the shape the way I wanted it to. So what I'm doing, this is what Teeny recommended, was like pinching it at the bottom. And then she said she takes her thumb, her 2 fingers here, and she kind of just like rolls it. But I really don't understand how she does this. Like, I feel like mine just, I don't know. You know, that's what practicing is for. Like, I'm gonna get better. That's gonna be my ball, and we're gonna hope that it's good enough. And we're gonna put it in our pan here. I'm gonna push it back a little bit there. All right, so these are my rolls. Again, they're not even. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some plastic wrap and we're gonna wrap them again and we're gonna let them proof for 30 more minutes. Okay, so these proofed for 30 minutes. They were literally touching when I took them out of the oven. And so I made a little hole there. Okay, so next I'm cracking an egg because we're gonna brush them with some egg wash. Okay, so egg wash is just beaten up egg brushed over the top of the buns. It gives it that golden color. Okay, and last, Teeny did not say to do this on her one, but I'm gonna sprinkle with a little bit of salt, not too much. All right, so we're done with that. We're gonna put them in the oven for 25 minutes on 350 Fahrenheit or 176 Celsius, and we're gonna pray for the best. Okay, so these are the cards that I got, and I'm just going to write a little note in here for my boyfriend's mom. Okay, so we got our note here. I'm thinking about putting a sticker here, but I don't know yet. And I basically just said, hello, how have you been? Happy New Year. I heard you really liked the bread, so I wanted to make you some more. And then I said, I hope you have a healthy and successful 2025, and I hope you enjoyed the bread. And then I put my name at the end, and I'm gonna see if I can find a sticker to put here, but first I wanna get the bread out of the pan before it starts to get moisture on it. Okay, so these are my rolls fresh out of the oven. Again, I know they are gigantic. You can make them smaller. Okay, so I'm gonna let them stay in the pan for like 3-4 minutes just until they're cool enough for me to be able to take them out of the pan. If you leave them in the pan, the bottom is gonna get soggy. You're gonna wanna let them cool on a cooling rack for, I would say at least an hour, maybe longer, depending on if they're even a little bit warm after that hour, because when you wrap them, you want them to be completely cool or it's gonna build up moisture. So yeah, it's 1:30 and I'm gonna be going to bed at like 4. All right, getting the bread out of the pan for me is no easy task. I think there is probably a easier and better way to do this, but I'm just gonna cut it. I know it's supposed to like pull apart, but you know, I'm doing my best here. I tried to flip it out of the pan and I forgot to scrape the sides, so make sure you do that with a knife or something. So I'm gonna let these cool for a little bit. I'm actually gonna try a piece for myself tonight. I added some stickers, which I feel like makes it so much more interesting than just, you know, not having stickers. Okay, got my hot chocolate ready to go. I made some cinnamon, honey, butter on Christmas, so I'm gonna eat that with my rolls, but you could just eat them plain. I'm gonna eat this one. As you can see, look at that nice brown crust on top. Look at how it opens. So fluffy on the sides. It is just a gorgeous roll, okay? Let me give a little bite, make sure it tastes good. They taste so good. They're, she's gonna love these. Like, they taste so, they're so soft. Like, I feel like this is gonna get me 100 points, maybe more, in the future daughter-in-law department, but these are so good. Just look at that inside. I don't know if it looks as good on camera, but these are so amazing. I'm gonna give them a little bit more time before I wrap them, but I'm gonna enjoy my bread and eat some hot chocolate. And just know that these taste so good. You need to make them. And it does take some time to make, but it's really simple, just throwing the ingredients together and waiting, and they turn out amazing. All right, you guys, it is, let me check the time, 3:22 in the morning. So exciting. Anyway, this is what her gift looks like. Got the little card here, put a little bow, a ribbon, and then some bows, and I think it turned out super cute. I think she's gonna love it, and yeah, I am tired. I have to be up in like 4.5 hours, so I'm gonna go to bed. I'll either write at the end of this video what his mom thought about the bread or what she said about it, or if I remember when my boyfriend calls me to tell me her reaction, I will film it. But anyway, I'm super tired. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please let me know in the comment section down below. Happy New Year to everybody, and yeah, let's have a great 2025. Make sure you give this video a like, and if you're not subscribed, please go ahead and do that. I'll see you guys later. Bye!
She just told me like, this taste is exactly like what I used to have when she was little kid.
Oh, dahangi. I mean, that's actually really special. I mean, I'm actually really happy about that.
And she had an odd smile right after she read the letter.
An odd smile. Maybe it was too much.
She's not like this letter looks interesting.
Ah, an interested.
How come Korea could just really write the Korean, right?
Dang.